welcome to Cooking with Mama Bear. I'm your host, Mama Bear, and today I'm going to take a slightly different twist on cooking. I'm going to talk about how can making a food equal living a godly life. You might think, what? I'm going to show you how while I make a 7-Up butter pound cake. Let's go. Okay, these are the ingredients we're going to need today. We're going to need 3 cups of flour, 2.5 cups of white sugar. We will need 5 eggs, 2 sticks of butter, which is equal to each stick is a half a cup. So that's a whole cup of butter, and then also a half a cup of shortening, half a teaspoon of salt, 2 tablespoons vanilla extract flavoring, 1 cup of 7-Up. But I don't have 7-Up, but I have ginger ale. So we're going to use that today. And then for tools, you'll need a rubber scraper, a liquid measuring cup, half of a teaspoon, a tablespoon. You'll see a toothpick, a paper towel. In the back, you'll see a mixing bowl, and then something called a bunt pan, and then a handheld sifter. And then we also have you can use an electric hand mixer, but I'm going to use the stand mixer. Okay, we're gonna get started. Sorry about the weird camera angle. I'm trying to do a couple of things. First, let me show you. Look at my really terrible looking recipe card. You guys see that? That is a hot mess. But I want to show you that even though something might look ugly or be beat up or beat down, that it still can produce an awesome result. So that's why I'm showing you my nasty copy of my recipe. Okay, so first we're going to need 2.5 cups of white sugar. So I'm just going to scoop this up. I'm going to shake this to level this out. I'm going to pour it in my mixer, but I don't have more than 2 hands. So you're just going to have to trust. I'm putting it in my mixer. So there's 1. And I'm just shaking it again. Here's 2. And I see there's a little lump of sugar, but it'll come out with when I beat it with the mixer. And then here's my half a cup. Okay, and then next I am going to need 2 sticks of butter. So I'm going to need the whole stick. I made sure it's been sitting out so it's softened or room temperature. So I'm going to put this also in my mixer. And I'm going to put this in my little trash can. Okay, and then I'm going to do 1 more stick of butter. So that's 2 sticks all together. And then I'm also going to use a half of a cup of shortening. So I love these little shortening sticks. This is life right here, baby. Okay, so I need a half a cup, which equals 8 tablespoons. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So I have a little bit more than that. So I'm going to cut through the paper to get my half a cup measuring amount, and then I'm going to open this up and I'm going to put this in the mixer. There we go. Now I am going to save this because we're going to need this later for greasing or oiling down the pan. So I'm going to start the mixer. Oh, I hope this isn't going to be too loud. Let me get my spatula. Okay, I will show you guys the mixer. Oh, that's a good angle, kind of. Can't see down in the bowl. That's okay. So I'm going to turn this on. Okay, and it's just going to mix down while I work on the other stuff. Okay. Okay, my next step is I'm going to sift my flour. So I have my medium-sized bowl. I'm going to put my damp towel underneath so it doesn't move around on me. I'm going to take my handheld sifter and I'm going to put it on top of the bowl. I am going to measure 3 cups. So I'm going to scoop up more than what I need. I'm going to take the back side of a butter knife or a sharp knife. I'm just going to push that off and level it off. And then I'm going to pour it into my handheld sifter. And then I'm going to do it 2 more times. So I'm going to get 1 more. Uh-oh. I'm making a mess. Here's 2. Now, before I do my last one, I'm going to grab my salt and I'm going to get my half of a teaspoon. I'm just shaking this to make sure this is level. I'm going to shake this around And I'm gonna leave a little bit left. You guys see that? Because I need 1 more cup of flour. I just wanna make sure my salt is evenly distributed as much as possible in my flour. So I am going to, there's my last cup of flour. And then here's the rest of my salt. Now I'm just gonna gently shake or tap this, and hopefully it'll all it'll all stay in the bowl. I've got it tilted to the side. I know, can you guys see that? Okay, great. So I know I got it tilted to the side, but I'm trying to make sure all this flour stays in the sifter. Okay. Oh my gosh. It's okay. Cooking is messy. Okay, now my flour is all done. I could sift it again, but I don't need to. The sifting will help the cake to be lighter and fluffier in texture, like a light and delicate cake. And that's exactly what we're going for today. Next, we're gonna do eggs. I need to crack 5 eggs. We're gonna ignore this mess right here. Okay, so we have my eggs. Can you guys see that? Put them over here. And I am going to put each egg in this little measuring cup. And not that I'm trying to measure it, I'm just trying to put it in a container. So, what I did first is I let my eggs come to room temperature. So you either can let them sit out for like 30 minutes, or you could put them in some warm water and just let them sit in the warm water, and then they come to room temperature in about 10 or 15 minutes. So that's what I did. And the reason you do that is it also makes your cake light and fluffy in texture. So a room temperature egg and sifting your flour will help this cake be even bigger and more grander. So I'm going to break 1 egg, okay, and I am going to put it in my measuring cup. Yay, no shells. Yay. Oh, I'm throwing that in the trash. So I'm not just throwing it on the floor. I'm going to use this damp towel to kind of clean my area and my space, because that's bothering me. And my hands. Now, what I'm going to do next, oh, there's a little shell in there. Okay, let me see if I can get that out. Okay, I got it. So what I do is I add my egg 1 at a time to the butter and butter sugar mixture. Okay, so I'm going to move my camera so you can see. Okay, see what it looks like? It's nice and thick. I'm going to put this down. I'm going to add my egg, and then I'm going to cut on the mixer. And I'm going to do that 5 times for each egg. So you add an egg 1 at a time, not all of them at one time. Okay, so I'm going to keep on going with these eggs, and I'm going to do 1 at a time. While I'm doing this, I just want to explain, I am using a recipe today, and I know I showed you earlier and it was all beat down. However, a recipe is like a blueprint, a game plan, a lesson plan, or the Bible. So it tells you like how to live and how to conduct yourself. So if you skip a step or you do it your own kind of way, you're probably going to end up with a hot mess. So that is why it is important to follow the instructions for your life from the Bible. Cake is like a Christian life journey. Our lives are specifically designed to fulfill a certain function. I know sometimes we might feel inadequate or not ready, but we are more than able because God allows us to do what we need to do. So we need to be comfortable with ourselves, accept ourselves, love ourselves, celebrate ourselves, and not be jealous or envious of anybody else. Show up fully for your task, your assignment, your ministry, and God will bless you. Your role is not your role is not insignificant or small, and it might seem like that, but when you put little things together, great things can happen. So here's my last egg, and I'm going to put it in, and then we are almost done. Okay, all the eggs have been incorporated into the batter, and so now it looks like this. It's more runnier or looser in consistency. So now I'm going to add the flour, and it's going to get kind of thick. So I'm hoping this mixer is not going to be too loud. Okay, so I'm going to take my flour that I already sifted, and I'm going to slowly pour it in without making a mess. I'm gonna go a little bit at a time just so all the flour doesn't puff out on me and get all dirty. Okay, while I'm doing this, or slowly adding in the flour, I just want to let you know that everybody is different. Just like there's different kinds of people, there's different kinds of cakes. So you need to celebrate what kind of cake are you. Okay, so there's certain kinds of cakes that are like dense and heavy, like this 7-Up pound cake, or it could be light and airy and fluffy, like an anniversary cake. So there's cheesecake, pound cake, fruit cake, birthday cake, layer cake, grad cake, cupcake, and wedding cake. So you might think, what kind of cake are you? So I would say I'm the cake, I'm like birthday cake. Light and fun and happy and excited. But that's just me. That's just me saying I would be like birthday cake. So I'm not like really glamorous and fancy, like maybe anniversary cake or wedding cake. Okay, now I have my glass measuring cup and I need 1 cup of 7-Up, but I have ginger ale today. Now this bubbles a lot, so I might have to let it settle for just a moment to let the bubbles go down before I know I have enough. Okay, now the proper way is to lay this on a flat surface and then check it at eye level. Yep, there's enough. Okay, so I'm going to slowly put this in. The batter is really thick. I don't know, can you guys see that? It's really thick. But the 7-Up will help loosen it up and add even more sweetness to it. Ooh, I don't want to go too fast, because I don't want it to come out this bowl. Okay, and the last thing to add is my special secret ingredient, my vanilla. I'm going to add 2 tablespoons to really give it a good punch of flavor. And it also adds a little more liquid, but not that much. Your batter will turn a light brown. Okay, that's it, baby. Where's my cap at? Oh, here we go. Okay, so now that the batter, I'm going to let it run for a few more minutes, and then I'm going to show you how to prepare the pan so the cake doesn't stick, and then it goes in the oven. Okay, here's my last step. Here is the bundt pan. You could like spray it with cooking spray, but I found that it is easier to grease it or oil it with shortening. So I take my paper towel, I'm just going to rub on here to get some shortening. You're probably going to need about a tablespoon or so. Can you see that? Okay. And you're going to rub all the way around, and you're going to rub in the middle and every single section or side, because if you miss something, then your cake is gonna stick, and then it'll ruin that really pretty effect when it comes out if you got ripped cake. So I'm going like down the middle and coming up that end. And then if you find extra shortening, you can rub it on the side where it looks like there's hardly any shininess there. The part that you also want to do is you want to flour it. So first I oiled it, and then I would put in like a spoonful of flour, and I shake it and tap it around until it coats or sticks to all the shortening, and then you pour the cake batter in. Okay, I have my flour, ta-da! And I'm going to just use a tablespoon. This is like a heaping amount, like more than what I would need, but I am just going to shake this around the pan. And then I am just going to tap my hand around so the flour is like falling. You guys see that? Yeah, that's better. So you want to make sure it gets all the side, and all the flour will stick to all the shortening. So if you notice, oh my gosh, I missed a spot, then you can rub it again with shortening. Okay, I think I got everything. Now I could throw this flour away, but I don't feel like it's dirty, so I can put it right back in my flour container, and I'm cool with that. I'm good. But you could throw it away. Oh my gosh. I almost dropped it. Okay, so now it looks like nice and floury in there. I know it's hard to see because it's white on white. Okay, now we're going to put in the cake batter. I'm just going to show you guys how beautiful and thick and fluffy this is. Yes. Okay, now I used to make this where I did not use all the batter because I thought it was too much, but one day I did, and I thought, oh my gosh, this cake is even better. So I'm just gonna pour the batter in the pan. I'm gonna turn it a little bit so it's kind of even all the way around. And we're gonna get all this goodness out. And again, I know it looks like, oh my gosh, this is so much batter in this pan, in the bundt pan. Ignore that sound. It's in the background, it's my refrigerator growling. It does that on occasion. Okay. I'll leave a little bit for, you're not supposed to lick your batter bowl because you could get sick. You could. Even though people do it all the time, like me and my kids. Okay, ignore my hand. I'm just going to shake this just a little bit just to level it out. Now I'm going to put this in the oven for about 30 to 40, maybe even 50 minutes. Once I think it's almost done, I'm going to take a toothpick, poke it in the center, and if it comes out clean and there's no crumbs stuck to it, it's done. If I stick it in, it's gummy and gooey, or the batter, or it's kind of jiggling. While I'm trying to test it, it needs more time. Give it at least 7 to 10 more minutes. So I'll show you what the cake looks like when it's all baked up. Okay, the cake's done. It took about an hour and 5 minutes. And then once it was done and I took it out of the oven, I let it sit and cool off for at least 10 to 15 minutes. When the sides start pulling away, when the cake starts pulling away from the side of the pan, then you can flip it or invert it upside down on a plate. So I flipped it up, I put the plate on top, flipped it over, and now I'm gonna take off the lid. See that? Isn't it pretty? So thanks so much for joining me. We're cooking for Mama Bear. Don't forget, stay and look while you cook. Bye.